Can you make a lot of money flipping houses? By the end of this video, you're going to have a clear sense of what's possible and also what's required to make real money flipping houses. Everyone talks about making big money flipping houses, but how much of it is real and how much of it is hype? In this video, I'm going to show you what profits look like, plus what it actually takes to get there. Do you want to know how flippers earn $25,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 or more per deal? I'll break down the numbers and what separates the winners from the wannabes. The truth is, yes, you can make a lot of money flipping houses. You can also lose money flipping houses. Who says that in a training video, right? From a guy who's done over 1,200 deals, you're going to lose some every once in a while if you don't do it right. But hopefully through this video, we can help you learn how to do things correctly and talk about the kind of money you can make as a house flipper. But understand this, flipping houses is active income. Where you really want to get to as a real estate investor is passive income. Passive income is money that comes in while you sleep. Comes in from the rental of real estate portfolio. People pay rent all the time. You're probably already paying rent or a mortgage, which means you're probably already in the real estate game. You're just on the wrong side of earning money as a real estate investor. You want to be on the side that gets money, not the one that just pays money. There's a couple different ways to look at profits in real estate. There's a raw profit, which means how much you make per deal, is that your target, or a profit margin. I can tell you that Amber and I made this mistake early on and we got lucky because the profit that we were looking for in every deal was $20,000. We said to ourselves, if we can make $20,000 on a flip, we'll do it. If we can't, we won't. That's really risky. It depends on the amount of the total volume of the house that you're doing. I would suggest that you look more for a profit margin. The profit margin is you should try to target a 15 to 20% margin on the sale of the house. Meaning, if a house sells for $250,000, you should make about a $50,000 profit if you flip the house correctly, or a 20% margin. As it just so happens, Amber and I got lucky in the early days. We said, we just want to make $20,000. Well, turns out we were selling houses for about $150,000 when we first got started. That was around a 15 to 20% margin we made on every house that we did. So we got lucky there. But I would strongly recommend that you work towards a profit margin depending on the area of the country that you're flipping houses in. In different areas of the country, you have different profit margins. For instance, if you are in the market that we flip houses in upstate New York, we can operate in a 20% profit margin, anywhere from 18 to 24% profit margin on the end price of the house, meaning once you sell at the ARV or after repair value, we're trying to get at least 20% of that number as a profit number. However, if you live in the Denver area, you might be 8 to 10% profit margin because the houses are bigger. If you're in Southern California, the numbers are bigger, right? If you're selling a house for $1 million, a 10% margin is still $100,000. Why does it make sense to work on margin versus an actual number? It has to do with repairs. Because there are repairs that can sneak up on you in a house and holding costs that get a lot more expensive when you're borrowing a lot more money. If you need to know about holding costs, make sure you check out our channel. We'll talk all about what that means, but there's a lot of things that come up on a house that a more expensive house is more expensive to hold, to sell, and to just keep the day-to-day expenses up than a less expensive house. So you want to work on a margin number. If I said, I just want to make $20,000 when I flip $1 million house, there's not enough margin. All I have to have is one little mistake, and that profit is gone instantly. There are 6 things that are going to generally affect your overall profit on a deal. Location is number 1. Price point is number 2. Your execution is number 3. Then you have financing, your experience, and your initial and your ending negotiations. These all affect your overall profit. Let's dive into each one. I mentioned before that location determines the right profit margin. In higher end areas, you want to shoot for maybe a 10% profit margin. Where you have lower land and house values, more in the lower hundreds of thousands range, you want to shoot for that 20% profit margin. So that will determine the margin that you're looking for. The area. You've always heard it said the 3 most important things in real estate are location, location, location. Well, then profits and profit margins, it's the same thing. Your price point will also determine your potential profitability. Are you working in low-income housing? Are you working in the median house, or are you somebody that wants to work in the luxury market? There are different margins in each depending on which one you choose. Next is execution. How are you executing the renovation and the entire process? You always hear it said that time is money, and that is so true in real estate investing, because how you execute will determine how long you hold the property. How are you managing the permit process? How are you managing the contractors? How are you managing all the holding costs that are going on in your property? How are you managing your overall cash flow on the deal? Because that determines your profitability. Your financing determines your profitability. Do you have your own cash in the deal? Do you have other people's cash? Are you partnering, doing a partnering split? Are you using hard money? Or are you using private lenders? What is the interest rate? What are the points? What are the fees, and what are the closing costs, and what are the filing fees with the local government? All these things determine your profitability. Every dollar that you pay out is a dollar less you put in your pocket. Your experience has a lot to do with it. I think on average it's been stated that most flippers make around $75,000 per flip. That may or may not be true depending on you and your area and the person itself. I've known people that have made nothing and lost money in their first deal, and we have a student who made over $250,000 on his first flip of a house. He was a contractor and stumbled onto a great deal in a rising market and crushed it. That was an amazing thing that he did, and we were really proud of him for that. So there's a lot of variables between nothing and $250,000, right? But the truth is, a lot of people don't make a ton on their first flip. Now, if they're being coached by someone like us, they're gonna drastically increase their chances of being profitable because they got somebody who's got the knowledge behind them to help them sidestep all the landmines that people that don't have coaching are going to step on and blow their leg off. So if you don't make as much money as you want to on your first flip, that's okay. There's a cost to pay for learning how to be successful as a business owner and as a new house flipper. When it comes to coaching, we always say, you're going to pay one way or the other. One way involves a lot of suffering, the other way involves a lot of learning. And lastly is negotiation. How good are you at negotiating? Because in truth, we make our money in real estate when we buy. We realize that money, or we realize the profit once we sell the house. But if we don't buy the house cheap enough in the first place to cover all the expenses, there's no profit to collect when we sell the house. So we make our money when we buy. You have to get great at negotiating, and you have to be great at being uncomfortable. If your first offer doesn't make you really uncomfortable and sweaty and nervous and terrified to say the number, then you're going to offer too high out of the gates. You can always go up, you can't go down. So make sure you start low enough on your negotiations. And when you're selling your house, it's the same thing. Be tough in your negotiations, but also get out of that house quickly, because the longer you hold a house, the more it costs. There's a lot of balancing that goes on there with negotiation and with execution of your entire business. The next determining factor is, how many flips can you do in a year? Well, by yourself, you could probably do 3 to 5 flips alongside your current job if you have a good team put together, even a part-time team. If you want to start to rise to the level of what we do, which is over 100 deals a year, you're going to have a much larger and much more robust system, a marketing system where the phone rings every single day in your office, people that are running leads, running all the day-to-day operations, and it becomes more of a full-time company at that point. Now, just because you do more deals a year doesn't mean you make more profit. I've had years where I've done over 100 deals a year, and I've made more profit in years where I've just done 5 flips myself. So as you're building a business, there's a lot of costs and unexpected things that come up as you're building a business. So don't say to yourself, well, if he's doing 100 deals a year, he's making $50 million a year. No, that's not the way it works. There's a lot more costs associated with running a business. But that's for a different time and different topic. And there's also videos in our channel that talk about that as well. Home runs are great when they're hit. But the truth is, games are won with base hits. In our world, a single would be a house that we make $25,000 to $30,000 on as profit. A double would be about $50,000. A triple would be about $75,000. And anything over $100,000 is a home run. Would it be great to have home runs every time you step to the base? Yes. Does it happen? No. The game is won with singles. If you hit enough singles, you'll start to hit some doubles and a few triples, and every now and again you'll get a home run. Base your business on hitting a single. In other words, find the deals where you can make $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. Find those deals consistently, and you will be wildly successful beyond your imagination. My biggest piece of advice is start buying rentals with your profits a lot sooner. Get really good at negotiating and hanging on to some of those flips as long-term rentals, because that's where the real wealth is built. If you're brand new to flipping, what we teach our students is, if you're serious about it, we'd like you to make $100,000 in your first year by flipping 2 houses and making $50,000 per house. I believe you can only do that if you have a coach and you don't have any experience, because a coach will help you, again, sidestep all the landmines and reach your goals that much faster. I call it folding time, and frankly, that's the value of having a mentor, and that's the value of having a coach. Big profits start with smart numbers. Go check out my next video where I'm going to show you how we analyze every single deal that we bring in the door. It's taken us 20 years to build this incredible system that guides us every day to decide how much we're going to pay for this house, and how much will the repairs cost, and how much will we sell it for, and what's our potential profit on this house. We put the system together so that you can generate profit on your very first deal and every deal thereafter. And it's just my gift to you. So watch the video. If it's not here, look in the description below and click that link.